This is a message regarding transmutation. So if you have been working with, or you feel called to work with Goddess Hekate, or if you're going through a period in your life right now where you feel like there's a really strong transformation. And when it comes to transformation, this could be anything. It could purely just be energetic, spiritual. It could also be, things in your life. You feel like a lot of things are changing. You find that some old beliefs that you had in the past don't apply anymore. Then this message is for you. There might be a certain situation or a relationship, something that's more that is related to emotional experience that you have been avoiding and you've been actively running away from. The message here is to allow yourself to burn through the entire fire. It feels like torture, it feels like pain, but it is exactly through this allowing yourself to be in this suffering. Again, not about abusive relationships, okay? So please don't twist this into something to make it fit if it doesn't. This is about your own experience and how you view certain situations, certain childhood wounds, certain traumas, certain triggers that you have in your life that you've been actively running away from. This is a message to face it. And when it comes to facing it, it has nothing to do with external circumstances, meaning to say, I'm not saying go find that person who has given you that pain or confront that person. No, it's about you sitting there and allowing yourself to go through this energetic fire. Allow it to burn because it is necessary when it comes to transmutation. So it's about burning away all these negative feelings, all the suppressed emotions, allow them to surface and allow them to take over your body, allow them to make you cry, allow them to make you feel all the feelings that you've been running away from. Because what happens when it all burns through, you're left with nothing but ashes, and that's when the phoenix rises, okay? I had to make that reference, but it is similar here. The vision that I had was really just putting yourself in this fire of suffering, this fire of pain, and allow it to burn as long as it needs to in order for transmutation to happen. If you're trying to evolve, if you're trying to transform, but you don't fully allow yourself to go through this period of shedding, this period of suffering, this period of pain, you will always kind of stay as the same person. You would always kind of carry those feelings, those negativity with you, in you, no matter how deep you buried that, okay? So it's always a chip on your shoulder. The only way for you to get rid of this thing is to allow it to surface, allow it to appear, allow it to take over your ego, allow it to take over your body, and then release it. Okay, so the more you suppress it, the more you try to run away, the more you try to resist it, it's when it intensifies and it shows up unconsciously when you allow your ego to take over. So when I say ego, I'm not the best person to really explain what ego is about. You can do more research, you can, I don't know, like watch some videos about it, right, when it comes to psychology. But ego is also about the unconscious person, right? Someone who reacts instead of respond. So someone who reacts to childhood, traumas and triggers. For example, if you find yourself to really detest certain types of people, detest certain words said to you, detest certain behavior, those are unconscious triggers. Those are ego, right? So when you realize that you don't have control over your emotions and the way you respond, the way you think about a certain thing, could be a situation, could be a relationship, could be a conversation, that is ego and that is unconscious, right? So it is about allowing all those experiences to surface slowly, one by one, right? And when it comes to all these triggers and how do I put it? When it comes to such triggers, it's very complex. It's not like a to-do list, like exactly 10 items that you have to go through and then you go through 10 items. Every time you sit there and you try to just be in your own energy, you always find new things that you never really realized about yourself. Which is why when it comes to spiritual growth, when it comes to energetic work, right, it is a work in progress all the time. I don't think there's anyone on earth that's 100% healed. Okay, so this is where you have to be less harsh and you have to be kinder to yourself. Someone who says that they are already healed, I don't fucking believe it. That's my belief. That's my personal belief. Everyone has work to do. I was just reading A New Earth again on the plane, and there's one line that the author talked about, which I think is perfect, right? So it says, if you feel like you're healed, go spend a week with your parents and you realize how unhealed you are. In the same way here, if you find that you've already done all the work, right? Spend a week with your parents, spend a week with people that you detest, and ask yourself if you have really healed. The times that matter the most when it comes to spiritual growth and awakening is not the good times, it's not the peaceful times. It is in the bad times, in the worst times, that you get to see whether you have truly become the person that you've always wanted to be. And I know for a fact that I'm so far away from where I hope to be. But it doesn't take away my happiness in the moment. It doesn't take away my contentment in my daily life, right? So in a similar way here, allow yourself to really allow all these buried feelings and suppressed emotions and experiences to surface. Check in with yourself. What is the priority right now that I have to allow to surface, to burn through my body, to burn through my spirit, and allow it to evaporate? Okay, so it's about priorities, right? It's almost like having a job, right? You have your work is endless, but how do you pick the right thing to do in the moment? Time sensitive items, right? It's the same thing here. You go through life experiences for a very clear reason. It's a reminder that this isn't done yet. This is a lesson that you have to learn. So for example, if you find yourself going through the same kind of challenges again and again, for example, you're always meeting people who take from you, you're always dating people who are emotionally unavailable, this is your exact lesson that you need to first focus on right now in this phase of life. Don't care about anything else. Focus on this lesson. And then once you're done with this lesson, you realize that that life is all about challenges and obstacles. Like there's nobody who's on earth who's like, oh, like I don't have any problems in life. There's always a problem, there's always an obstacle. It just evolves, right? And it's about being at peace, allowing fire to burn through, like I mentioned earlier, and accepting that that is part of life and that is everyone's lives. Okay, and to wish for life for nothing but peace is something that's 100% unattainable in this moment unless you're able to find that stillness and that peace within yourself. Your soul and your meditative space is your sanctuary. Okay, it's the moment when you close your eyes, when you are by yourself, like how do you feel? That is your only safe space, and that's the only thing that nobody can take away from you. And if you practice with sitting there in this fire, energetic fire, and allow that pain to surface and still realize that you are still fine, you're still alive, you're still breathing, you're still happy, you're still content, then you have unlocked this, right? This whole video is meant to help someone here that's meant to watch this video to realize that all you have to do is to find that peace within yourself. Because if you look externally for peace, if you look externally for comfort, you'll never find it.